Hey guys, welcome to Keep On Pushing Stories, where, yeah man, we tell you real life stories of persistence, perseverance, and growth. And today I'm excited to welcome Derek Redmond to Keep On Pushing Stories. Derek, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to see you, Devon.
Always, man. So tell us, Derek, what is it that you do and how do you serve? How do you bring value to your clients?
So now as a motivational, inspirational speaker, also a business performance coach, I guess the easy way to sum it up is I take what I've learned in the world of sport, a lot of the the mindset and the mental things that I've learned, and I try and take those and bring them and show how they can be used within the business world. I have a saying that sport is a business and business is a sport. There is no difference between the two, and that the mindset of a successful sports person is no different to the mindset of a successful business person. So I try and bring what I learned in my sporting world and that mindset from being successful in sport to how people can use that and be successful in business.
Awesome. And so how would someone find you to get, exposed to some of those lessons?
Well, the easiest way, obviously, is through being online. So I have a couple of websites. DerekRedmond.com is one of them. And then there is DRMAUK.com. They can find me on LinkedIn. They can find me on Instagram. I'm at The Real Derek Redmond. Apparently there's a fake one there, so they can find me pretty much easily on through social media. If you Google my name, things will come up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now we know what you do and how to find you. What we really, really want to know, though, is your keep on pushing story, Derek. We want to hear of a time when you had to overcome a significant challenge or you had to push yourself. I know you don't like to use the word out of your comfort zone. So we want to hear of a time perhaps when you expanded your comfort zone and was able to accomplish something amazing.
Well, I mean, the obvious one is 1992 Barcelona Olympics, which obviously you are very aware of, and being expected to win a medal in the final, but in the semi-final, pulling my hamstring after 150 meters. I then decided to get up and continue and finish the race. And with 100 meters to go, my dad came onto the track and helped me over the line. What then happened after that was within the next 18 months, I had seven operations in 18 months on my hamstring. All never went the way that I wanted. The hamstring kept on pulling. And after the seventh operation, the surgeon explained to me that my hamstring was done. My sporting career was over. I'm never going to compete for my country again. So just stop putting yourself through this and go and get a normal job and live a normal life. And that wasn't going to be me. So within just under 3 years, I got into another sport, which was basketball. And I ended up playing basketball for England, just for one international. And if that wasn't enough, I attempted to compete for my country in a third sport, which was rugby, became professional in that sport, tried out for England on a couple of occasions, but didn't quite make it. So, I have the pleasure of being professional in 3 sports and competing for my country in 2. So I guess that's a typical example of me, to keep on pushing and not giving up when other people had given up on me.
Indeed, indeed. So not many people have played become professional in 3 sports. So that's pretty remarkable. And what would be the lesson that you learned? What did you take away from those experiences?
I think, one of the biggest lessons that I learned, and it's quite apt for the period of time that we're in now with this COVID-19 that's happening, is being able to adapt and change to different scenarios and situations. That is really important because we can be challenged on a daily basis. Things could happen that we have no control over, like this COVID-19. It's hit us, it's hit the world, bam, from March, of this year. And we've had to deal with it. We've had to adapt. We cannot and couldn't just continue going along in the same way that we previously were. So for me, being able to adapt is key. And actually, during this whole pandemic, I wrote some new presentations, and I actually came up with what I refer to as my ADAPT model. And so if you take the word adapt, A-D-A-P-T, each of those letters means something. So the A stands for acceptance. You know, a situation arises, we kind of have to accept it if it's beyond our control. Once you can accept it, you can move on to the D, which is right. Now we're in this situation, we accept it. What direction am I going in? Am I still on course for the same direction? Is the time, you know, is the timeline now different? Am I just been taken slightly on a detour and I can switch back onto it? Or have I got to take a 180-degree turn and go in a completely different other direction? Once we've looked at that, we can then go to the next A, which is alternatives. Right, what are my alternatives to go in this whatever direction it is, the same direction or the new direction? Is it something I've been through before? Is it something other people have been through? What did they do? What did I do before? Do I need to seek help to work out what these alternatives are? Find out what the alternatives are. Then we come to the P, which is now we can plan what we're going to be doing to get to that destination, wherever it is. Once we put a plan together, the final letter is the T, which is the transition. So we put that plan now into action, and we start moving down that, you know, down that path with this new plan. So it's just an example. Now I had been doing that through my whole career, having to adapt. You know, in the world of sport, preparing for Olympic Games, and you will totally understand this, certainly in my sport, one of three things could generally happen. You get injured, and it could be a small injury, it could be a bad injury, we don't know. Loss of form, so you could just lose your form and you've got to change around. Or actually, you're in such great form, there's a chance that you could peak too early, so you've got to have to make some changes. And with those, generally those three things, we're always having to adapt and make changes to our training program and to our racing program, so that when it comes to that big competition, we arrive there in the best shape possible to perform at our best. And all the chopping and changing and the fine tuning and the tweaking and the adding and taking away of training and this and that happens before, and we're constantly adapting and changing our program to make sure that we are bang on for when it really matters. And that's where this whole adapt model came from, when I started looking at some of the stuff that I did, and I'm sure you did in your sporting career, because you had to do it. And it was possibly more difficult for you because there was 4 of you, you know, so, you know, you've got to get 4 of you all in sync at the same time. At least as an individual athlete, it was just me. So, you know, you've got 4 teams of people, a whole group of people looking after all of you, some looking after you individually doing it. You've got to keep fine tuning and tweaking and making sure that everything is working. Because unfortunately in life, things don't happen perfectly as we go along. Never happens.
Indeed. So yeah, well, you know, your story from Barcelona is an icon, one of those iconic moments from the Olympics. We all know it. And so thank you for giving us your perspective, because we only can see it and draw conclusions from watching. And then just understanding how you adapted, which is a really powerful message, is one of those timeless messages and lessons. So thank you so much for sharing with us here and Keep on Pushing story.
My pleasure.
So guys, if you enjoy this, if you found value in it, please leave a comment, hit that subscribe and that notification bell. And just as importantly, man, make sure you share it. Don't keep it. Your friends want to be inspired as well, right? So share it, don't keep it. And as always, keep on pushing.